Hey guys, this is Jordan, and I make videos often for my Bible study methods class. And I've been asking Leroy actually about all of you, how my fellow year three, though now year fours, are doing.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And so I guess I just decided that whatever I found out about all of you, you should know too. So welcome to Leroy's office. We'd love for you to come in and have a cookie. But as for now, I guess I'll just start. Where are all my people at, Leroy? How are people doing in the
That's
program?
a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, we have some students who are still finishing up year three, 2018 assignments. It's like, hello. But I don't have any actual room for criticizing because I'm finishing up year three assignment grading. So most of you should have been able to see on Converge. You should have gotten messages in the last month or two, probably especially the last month, about assignments that have been graded, your final projects for CM 814 and CM 824. I wrote quite a few comments there for you to think about in those projects. I mean, I don't necessarily want to put together a lot of numbers, but it was nearly about 1,500 pages of final project reading. Just that was actually a thrill. I would, in some ways, I would love to have been able to throw a few of them out there for everybody to read. Some pretty awesome stuff that you guys worked on. So thank you very much. Again, I apologize for my tardiness, but probably like some of you, I'm working on still trying to get my life in order.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on at Corbin University, but that doesn't change the fact that you all are where you are. But so we have some students still finishing up 18. There's a number of individuals who are making pretty good progress on their thesis projects.
So how many students? We have 14 students in our cohort.
Well, it's closer to 12.
So we have 12 students in my year. How many of them are through year three, where they've finished all of year three stuff and they're into what we?
I think it's probably all but two.
All but two.
Yeah.
So 10. We'll take that.
Yeah.
10 of you. Good.
Yeah, actually, we've got another student who had one more module to take.
Oh yeah.
One or two students that had one more module because they started out only taking one module that first year. So they're actually in the thick of that as well, while they're also trying to make progress on their thesis project.
So how many of my fellow students are have finished year three's work? That's all done. It's turned in, graded, and they have accepted TP proposals that they're green lighted to work on their thesis.
There's probably four. Probably four.
Okay.
And there could be more, but again, some of that's my problem because I haven't been in full connection with some of you and knowing exactly where you think you are in the thesis project writing process. And that's actually why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Is to find a way to help connect with you so that you can connect with us.
Yeah.
And kind of know exactly what you need to do next. Because I think part of the challenge is the way forward. What's the path?
Yeah.
Don't want to get stuck.
Yeah. And so, in talking to Leroy throughout the year, obviously, I work at Corbin University, as does Garrett Trott, and we see Claire on campus here and there as well. It seems that something we could do would be to create an actual roadmap forward, that if you've done year three stuff, if you have a TP proposal, what's next? And I'll tell you this, Garrett Trott has gone into writing chapters 2 and 3. So he's doing a lit review. He's kind of working on his theological foundations. He's submitting outlines first, of course, to Leroy, and he's writing, and I check in with him on progress, and he's setting a fast curve for the rest of us.
No kidding.
I had a project that I had to get launched because I wanted to do it through the course of a school year. And so I have outlines for chapters 2 and 3 and some content, but nothing officially in for a first draft. But I got to do my project, and I'm speaking of it as it's done because one big part of it is done, This year I did a discipleship project on Corbin's campus with international students to measure the spiritual growth when you compare international students who had discipleship versus those who didn't. And so the period of discipleship is ended. Students have taken assessments at the beginning, middle, and end. All that data is in, and we're analyzing it right now. I know nothing about data analysis. And so one of the things that I've realized is that when it comes to creating a test, measuring results, getting and just really thinking through a project, I've been advantaged by being around campus and around other academics who've helped, which has made me and Garrett and Leroy want to say, how can we help you get the benefits of that? How can we connect you with the same kind of people who are helping us? How can we have the small, if you will, water cooler conversations with you to get people continuing to go? And if your project's going fine, we don't mean to insult your intelligence or think that you need hand-holding, but I just know that I've come into this office a couple of times to verbally process where I was stuck.
That's right.
And because he's in his office and he's captive, I've been able to move on. And so, we just want to let you guys know that we've been talking about this and wanting to create a roadmap, and perhaps taking some of the class notes, examples of chapter 2, examples of chapter 3, examples of chapter 1, perhaps with maybe re-recording 10-minute Leroy spots discussing the chapter and what it would look like, might create a very visible roadmap that can exist on Converge, where you can see, okay, I go to chapter 2, when chapter 2 is done, I go to 3, and I'm submitting rough drafts, resubmission, so that you can almost checklist your way through this, because it just feels like a very big undertaking.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I know you heard me say last time we were on campus is we were finishing up CM 893, and that is just the dangers of getting stuck, and the dangers of finishing your classwork at the end of year 3, and then kind of relaxing, taking a vacation, allowing all that adrenaline to come way down, coming back to earth, getting out of rotation, and then suddenly knowing you need to gear up again. And so we want to kind of try to keep you moving as best we can at this point. So this is kind of our IRS tax day, April 15. Here we are, got to pay the piper. So anyway, we want to know, okay, where are you? How can we help? What do you need from me? There's probably stuff you're waiting to hear from me and assuming that I know that. I may not know that. So one of the things I'd really like to encourage you to do is kind of take that assessment. Where are you? What have you heard from me? What do you know that I've already sent to you or I haven't sent to you? And then take the initiative to reach out. I think that's an important thing. Don't assume that I know exactly where you are or what it is that you need. Reach out to me, and when you do, I'm in a position right now where I can start addressing all of these things on a more personal basis, one-on-one. And you can kind of get some of the benefit that Jordan and Garrett have while they're here. By the way, I wanted to mention something as well that I think will come to you as a good benefit. Jordan's here with me, and one of the things that I have learned over the last couple of years is that as an adjunct professor, Jordan has really understood the process of working on the thesis project. He's been making really good progress. I've given him opportunity to work with a couple of the students in some of our other cohort years, and he's providing a lot of great assistance. So he's offered to help out in this particular process as well. And because he's really been doing a great job navigating, I'm just happy to have him alongside. So what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I guess what I can offer just as an initial thing is, if it would benefit you to have a 15-minute phone conversation. I mean, you don't have to actually be in my area. We can do a WhatsApp call, a messenger call, whatever kind of video call. I would prefer video if possible. But just to check in, see what you're up, where you're at and where you're stuck. Because just maybe maybe we can help navigate that. And maybe I'll just take the information from you and I'll walk around with it for a day or two, set up another phone call and tell you what came back after talking to people around here, just maybe for some problem solving skills. I can't promise that I'm going to be useful. That's why I'm only asking for 10 or 15 minutes. But I just know that if we were on campus together, there would be a community of us pushing each other along. And since I have the benefit of that, I want to make sure that that's there for others. And Garrett Trott has said some of the same things. And so if it would be a benefit to you to have a one-on-one conversation, that's easier for me, I think, at this point. And so, if you want to contact me at jnewton@corbin, we'll move on to Messenger or WhatsApp. And as Leroy pointed out, I have regular phone conversations with a couple other students in other years of the program, helping them with assignments and already with thesis stuff. And it's been a lot of fun. The reason I'm doing it is because I enjoy it. So if that's a benefit to you, go ahead and reach out. Let me know. We can have a quick conversation and see if there's a way that I can be useful to you. And I would enjoy that.
One of the reasons this works is because, as Jordan mentioned earlier, he's just down the hall from me, and we have opportunity to interact regularly about. So whatever conversations you're having with Jordan about your thesis project is probably going to end up coming my way to some extent, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I have found in working with your theses is that there are times, and I mentioned this in class, there are times that I'm thinking through what you're sending me, and I need someone to process that with. And so we use the resources here at the university to do just that. Speaking about resources, Garrett is another great resource, and one of the complexities that students have oftentimes shared is that they forget, and I know I forget, some of the things that Garrett has taught us about library access, about Zotero. And so Garrett has agreed to do a couple of videos that would remind us about how to go back and reload Zotero, how to use it,
Citation
how to access.
formats.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I've noticed that some of the students are struggling a bit with using the library at a distance.
Oh.
It seems a little threatening or something. So
I can tell you this. I have a friend who's going on a sabbatical, and he's working through leadership succession. He's not part of a D.min program anywhere, but I used EBSCOhost off the website just to find just a few articles and to find a couple of dissertations. And I asked Garrett for them, and I got all of them within like 12 hours emailed back to me. And all I did is I file folded them for my friend just to say, here's some research. And but stuff like that, we kind of forget. Where do you go? How does this work? And so in other words, we're hoping to just release more information to get people going. Again, if you guys can be here in June, people will be around to kind of, Leroy's going to be around to be available to talk about project stuff. If others of you want to come into town, maybe we can coordinate getting a meal together to commiserate. I know a lot of life has happened for you guys, and maybe one of the reasons that you're not through and moving into your TP is that unexpected things that happen in life and ministry. Obviously, we'll be sympathetic ears to that too. So hopefully the information finds you well. But it seems like as a recap, most of you are done with year 3. We're all somewhere maybe in that TP spectrum of we have something approved or we don't. Some people on the far end are writing. Some people are doing projects. But maybe we need to find ways to be in more constant contact. And I just encourage you that if you wrote Leroy emails in November, December, or October that he never
and I lost him
and he never got to them, you're not alone. That happens. That happens in the life of Corbin University around here. And so stay on it, stay vigilant, and let us know where you're at. Let Leroy know your progress.
Oh, yeah, I'm not offended by you telling me, hey, you didn't ever respond or whatever. In fact, in some ways, I really would appreciate hearing that. So, yeah, let me know. By the way, that the upcoming residency begins June 10th, ends June 21st. If you're wanting to make some plans to be here during those 2 weeks, we can incorporate that into our schedule. We can get you into the dorm with the rest of the students.
Let's get the band back together. I know Carl's going to be here. Get the band back together.
Okay, awesome. And like Jordan said, we're going to try to make ourselves as available as possible. However, if you are coming this way, or if you have a weekend or a week somewhere where you would like to come and spend a week in the library, we would help facilitate, a place for you to stay. We try to help in whatever way we could. Yeah. I'm around most of the summer. There's another 2-week D.min module coming up towards the end of July, the last 2 weeks of July for theology and apologetics. That would also be a period of time in which you would be able to come, if that would work better for you. Mm-hmm. But again, other times can work if we just are able to think about it, plan it in advance. Thank you for being a good audience. Man, they're passive.
This is the quietest time we've all been together. Right?
It is true. It is true. I think the main thing I really want to communicate, both of us do, is the desire at this particular juncture of the road to be able to be a resource for you and to be able to help you accelerate the progress towards completing your thesis project. Knowing that most of you have already put a pretty goodly amount of work in it, and you have every reason to believe that you can make a lot of progress on that through the remainder of this year. You should have every reason to think that you can complete this and that you can find success with this. Build this into what it is that you're doing in your life and ministry. But we want to be here to make sure you can successfully complete this and that you don't give up hope along the way somewhere.
So I guess maybe in recap, number 1, you're invited to be here in June. Number 2, if you can wait and you kind of just want to give a general update, you can write the doctor a letter, an email rather, to let him know where you're at. If you have a question that you've been kind of waiting to have answered and you never heard back, this is the open season to get him. Mm-hmm. If you want something more immediate, want to do a quick phone call or talk through a problem because you don't want to write a long email, you can try hitting me at jnewton@Corbin and we can make a conversation. But just otherwise, look forward to us maybe creating a roadmap. That would be a goal of mine to do with Leroy over the summer, is to create a real obvious roadmap, just not only for me because I'm thesis writing, but just also for others because I just want to see us all make it. So
exactly.
So let's make it, brothers.
Let's make it. Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.